So all you really need to make a sub-kick is an XLR cable, some wire strippers and wire cutters. We've got a soldering iron here with some solder, and finally obviously we've got our sub speaker. So you can really use any speaker. I'd recommend using a sub like this. You can get them pretty cheap actually on the internet, just the cone itself, or you can dismantle a guitar amp or something like that. And I think the original sub kit used to be a Yamaha NS10, I think, is that right? Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so any speaker with the kind of this size, so it's like a 7 or 8 inch, 6, 7, 8 inch cone will do the job. So what we're essentially doing with this speaker is we're actually going to reverse the polarity. So on this speaker, and with most speakers, there's going to be two tabs here. There's going to be a positive terminal and a negative terminal, and I'll get a close-up of that as well. So what we're going to essentially do is, instead of putting the positive side of the cable to the positive terminal, we're going to do the opposite. So positive goes to negative, negative goes to positive, but I'll get into more detail. Alright, so the first step is to basically take an XLR and cut the female side, so the one with the holes in it. That usually goes into the microphone, but obviously this sub speaker doesn't actually have an XLR input. So we're just going to have to take off this connection here and just cut it off here. So we'll just do that now. Okay, so I've taken off the head, so we've still got the male side here, so that will still go into the interface. And now I've got this basically exposed cable here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to strip this back a wee bit so we can get into the internal wiring. Okay, so top tip, buy a better pair of strippers than this crap. Took me a wee while there. Okay, so what we're left with is our red cable and a white cable. Now, it's kind of confusing because one of these is a positive and one of these is negative, but usually the red or white could be positive. I think in this case though, that because there's red and white, we're going to assume that the red is a positive and the white is a negative. It might be different for your case, so it might be that there's a white and black, in which case the white is the positive and black is the negative. So white's a bit of a weird one, just think about it in context to the other wire. So if there's a red one, assume that the white is a negative, and if it's a black one, assume the white is a positive. Alright, so what I'm going to do next is just strip these wires, and then we'll move on to connecting them to the sub-kick. Okay, so these are the two terminals that are on the speaker themselves. So as you can see, there's a positive and a negative. So normally you'd put the positive to the positive and the negative to the negative, but because we're reversing the polarity and we're changing this to a microphone and not a speaker, what we're going to do is attach the negative to the positive and vice versa. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the red cable onto the negative terminal on the speaker and the white cable onto the positive of the speaker. Okay, so good news, I've put the terminals in. I've not actually soldered them. I've just connected the wires just to make sure it all works. And a quick test, I'm just connected to my interface here, and lo and behold, when I tap it, we've got signal coming through, which can only mean that it's the right way around, right? Thank God. So I'm going to actually solder it all up now, and then we're done. Wow, that was actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Wow, look at that pro job. Whoa, you know, hire me, Apple. I could make your iPhones for you. So now we can actually attach it to a snare stand or something, and we can put it on the kit. So let's see how that sounds.